Welcome to our continuing series, Questions and Answers for a World in Crisis. Today, Meditation, Part 1, from Sri Aurobindo. By meditation, we correct the restless wandering of the mind and train it, like an athlete, to economize all its energies and fix them on the attainment of some desirable knowledge or self-discipline. This is done normally by men in ordinary life. But yoga takes this higher working of nature and carries it to its full possibilities. It takes note of the fact that by fixing the mind luminously on a single object of thought, we awaken a response in general consciousness, which proceeds to satisfy the mind by pouring into it knowledge about that object, or even reveals to us its central or essential truth. We awaken also a response of power, which gives us, in various ways, an increasing mastery over the workings of that on which we meditate, or enables us to create it and make it active in ourselves. Thus, by fixing the mind on the idea of divine love, we can come to the knowledge of that principle and its workings, put ourselves into communion with it, create it in ourselves, and impose its law on the heart and the senses. What meditation exactly means. Sri Aurobindo. There are two words used in English to express the Indian idea of dhyana: meditation and contemplation. Meditation means, properly, the concentration of the mind on a single train of ideas, which work out a single subject. Contemplation means regarding mentally a single object, image, idea, so that the knowledge about the object, image, or idea may arise naturally in the mind by force of the concentration. Both these things are forms of dhyana, for the principle of dhyana is mental concentration, whether in thought, vision, or knowledge. Meditation is the easiest process for the human mind, but the narrowest in its results. Contemplation more difficult, but greater. Self-observation and liberation from the chains of thought, the most difficult of all, but the widest and greatest in its fruits. One can choose any of them according to one's bent and capacity. The perfect method is to use them all, each in its own place and for its own object. But this would need a fixed faith and firm patience and a great energy of will in the self-application to the yoga. Question: what should be the object or ideas for meditation? Sri Aurobindo. Whatever is most consonant with your nature and highest aspirations. But if you ask me for an absolute answer, then I must say that Brahman is always the best object for meditation or contemplation, and the idea on which the mind should fix is that of God in all in God, and all as God. It does not matter, essentially, whether it is the impersonal or the personal God, or subjectively the one self. But this is the idea I have found the best, because it is the highest and embraces all other truths, whether truths of this world or of the other worlds, or beyond all phenomenal existence. All this is the Brahman, in quotes. Conditions, internal and external, that are most essential for meditation. Sri Aurobindo. There are no essential external conditions, but solitude and seclusion at the time of meditation, as well as stillness of the body, are helpful, sometimes almost necessary to the beginner. But one should not be bound by external conditions. Once the habit of meditation is formed, it should be made possible to do it in all circumstances, lying, sitting, walking, alone, in company, in silence, or in the midst of noise, etc. The first internal condition necessary is concentration of the will against the obstacles to meditation, i.e., wandering of the mind, forgetfulness, sleep, physical and nervous impatience, and restlessness, etc. Concentration is a gathering together of the consciousness, and either centralizing at one point or turning on a single object, that is, the divine. There can also be a gathered condition throughout the whole being, not at a point. In meditation, it is not indispensable to gather like this. One can simply remain with a quiet mind, thinking of one subject or observing what comes in the consciousness and dealing with it. Concentration means fixing the consciousness in one place or on one object and in a single condition. Meditation can be diffusive, that is, thinking about the divine, receiving impressions and discriminating, watching what goes on in the nature and acting upon it, etc. Concentration for our yoga means when the consciousness is fixed in a particular state, that is peace, or movement, that is aspiration, will, coming into contact with the mother, taking the mother's name. Meditation is when the inner mind is looking at things to get the right knowledge. It is certainly much better to remain silent and collected for a time after the meditation. It is a mistake to take the meditation lightly. By doing that, one fails to receive or spills what is received, or most of it. Concentration is very helpful and necessary. The more one concentrates, parentheses, of course in the limits of the body's capacity without straining it, end parentheses, the more the force of the yoga grows. But you must be prepared for the meditation being sometimes not successful and not get upset by it, for that variability of the meditations happens to everybody. There are different causes for it, but it is mostly something physical that interferes, either the need of the body to take time to assimilate what has come or been done, sometimes inertia or dullness due to causes such as those you mentioned, or others. The best thing is to remain quiet and not get nervous or dejected till the force acts again. One can have no fixed hours of meditation and yet be doing sadhana. Naturally, one does not get tired if the meditation has become natural. But if the capacity is not there yet, then many cannot go on without a strain, which brings fatigue. If the difficulty in meditation is that thoughts of all kinds come in, that is not due to hostile forces, but to the ordinary nature of the human mind. All sadhaks have this difficulty, and with many it lasts for a very long time. There are several ways of getting rid of it. One of them is to look at the thoughts and observe what is the nature of the human mind as they show it, but not to give it any sanction, and to let them run down till they come to a standstill. This is a way recommended by Vivekananda in his Raja Yoga. Another is to look at the thoughts as not one's own, to stand back as the witness Purusha and refuse the sanction. The thoughts are regarded as things coming from outside, from Prakriti, and they must be felt as if they were passers-by crossing the mind space with whom one has no connection and in whom one takes no interest. In this way, it usually happens that after a time the mind divides into two, a part which is the mental witness watching and perfectly undisturbed and quiet, and a part which is the object of observation, the Prakriti part, in which the thoughts cross or wander. Afterwards, one can proceed to silence or quiet the Prakriti part also. There is a third, an active method, by which one looks to see where the thoughts come from and finds they come not from oneself, but from outside the head, as it were. If one can detect them coming, then before they enter, they have to be thrown away altogether. This is perhaps the most difficult way, and not all can do it. But if it can be done, it is the shortest and most powerful road to silence. I see no reason why meditation, properly done, should be a hindrance to study. Quite the opposite. Only if what you call meditation is not meditation at all, but a state of inert passivity, and drowsiness can it harm your studies. And as that state is thoroughly undesirable from every point of view, of course, it is better not to indulge in it. Question: what is real meditation then? Sri Aurobindo: it is an active and deliberate concentration on the divine presence and a sustained, alert contemplation of that sublime reality.